ka pa nahuhuli.
Why is our country having a difficult time getting more people to sign up for X?
Yeah.
What are your specific action steps to address this? For some, and that's for people.
Okay, I believe that the reason why exchange is difficult to market, again, I mentioned it earlier, it's not because of a lack of a market. It's more of a lack of understanding of the market. Because let's face it, the market is not homogeneous. These are people who have actual concerns. We're not just looking for people who say, hey, I want to go on exchange, I want to go to another country. We also have to observe why these people take that choice. Or why even though they want to take these choices, they don't necessarily jump on the opportunity. These aren't just limited to financial concerns. Sometimes these people are prioritizing their academics. Or, these people have characteristics. So I think in order to improve OGX marketing, that has nothing to do with brand management. We need to be able to reassess their market. We need to be able to have a better understanding of their wants, their needs, their characteristics. And this isn't just age, social standing thing. What are their aim occupations, etc. Blah blah. Because we can't just package ourselves one way and then expect them to accept it. We need to be able to get their feedback, see what they like, and then be able to shift ourselves in order to respond to that. And I believe that if it goes to the right mediums and it's packaged the right way, then the market will definitely be better.
Okay. Given that we have a product-based structure for next year, what do you think is the role of Comm now, given that we can't be as hands-on anymore with the marketing communications? Especially during the first sem, it's not our peak in OGX. It's actually AIESEC and hopefully ER kasi we need money kaagad. So, how will your structure support that reality? And what will brand management do to support all the programs?
I believe that, again, at any given point, there's always a certain product being sold somewhere in AIESEC. It doesn't really, it depends on the department doing it, it depends on the stakeholder, but it's always happening. And that's the reality that we have to accept. Even though communications doesn't necessarily have to always be at the forefront of all promotions, it needs to be available in order for consultation, first and foremost, and in case anything needs to be produced, and maybe they produce something but it's not good enough, or maybe they don't have time to produce it. Communications needs to be there, not to be asked, but to be able to offer themselves as a service to be able to improve that kind of product. And again, in terms of reassessing and feedback, communications.
Based on your answer to that, or in relation to Kumo's question, how can communications help in positioning your products? What are we talking about OGX? But what about the other ICEC products? Like what about ER products and ICX products? What is your goal in positioning those products, or how do you envision positioning communications?
First of all, given that I'll admit that I'm not as knowledgeable with certain things as other people, technically proficient. However, I believe that it boils down really to the same method. First of all, the method is the same, which is there needs to be a certain feedback. Because communications, as it's taught in my course, is a two-way process. We need to understand how we've been doing it, what we've been doing wrong, what we've been doing right, what the audience is expecting now, and we need to be able to shift according to that. It doesn't just go for OGX, it goes for every single product that we're trying to sell. In terms of the unique set, and in terms of the products that aren't necessarily OGX, it's just the same thing. In terms of we push forward the unique selling points of AIESEC, or the unique selling point of that specific product, as long as it's included to the brand handle. So whether that would be AIESEC offers you a global experience, or AIESEC offers you exchange, it doesn't really, it depends, basically. It really does depend on who you're selling it to and what you're selling.
I understand that general is the right word, but can we talk a little bit more specifics right now? First, what is your understanding, or how do you view the unique selling proposition of the AIESEC brand? General term.
I view the unique selling proposition of AIESEC. First of all, the opportunity for exchange, and not just exchange, but what it extends to, i.e. a global-minded experience, an openness to a global, the word is community or environment. And in doing that, AIESEC forms leaders or forms members who are always ready to be leaders first and foremost. And the leaders who are already capable of handling anything basically like in a business setting, even though they're just students. Basically, it allows you to jump ahead and it gives you better opportunities.
Okay, and then given that, since now we're product based, you have 4 products and each will have their own brand, right? So how will you align that with the overall AIESEC brand? Are you going to use a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach?
Truth be told, I don't really have a particular structure of how I'm going to go about it. But the way I imagine doing it is, as usual, given that it's going to particularize towards who you're going to center. If you're taking OGX and ICX, for example, it shouldn't be, wait, sorry, allow me to pass back, sorry. In general, with the 4, I believe that we need to take an approach that's a little more personal. Because given that we are promoting exchange, or promoting, hey, become this kind of leader, or become this kind of member, join this kind of organization, that's really not enough for some people. Or sometimes people apply anyway, and then there's a disconnect because it's not necessarily what they expected. I want people to be able to understand that AIESEC makes a complete change in people. And that beyond its unique selling points, it does really form a change at the end of the day. So for example, with OGX, it's not necessarily just saying, hey, go to China through AIESEC. It's more of, because I went to China, I am now so and so of this corporation. It's being able to prove to people that they can change. It's the same thing with DNP and DLP. It's to be able to show people that it's true that they become leaders, but prove to people how they become leaders. Give them a concrete example, or give them a concrete show of this person has become this because they joined AIESEC, or because they took PNP, because they took PLP. I hope it makes sense.
For next year, what elements of the communications mix are you planning to use? That is advertising, PR, direct marketing, personal selling, whatever. Which among those elements will you use, especially because right now our reality is we don't reach our goals in terms of sign-ups, in terms of AGPS participants, in terms of attracting people per se. Sa TMP and TNP lang tayo umaabot sa goals.
This is, okay, I'm not being biased because I work here, but I believe in public relations a lot. We're going to tap into every method of the market movement because there's really no way to exhaust the growth. It's really just a matter of testing all of them and picking the best ones. But I believe in public relations because, first of all, it's into online, and we are a very online generation. And there are a lot of things we can do online, not just posters, not just changing our Facebook names, but also making, let's say, viral videos, or making actual websites that are attuned to a certain product. There are a lot of things you can do online, it's very versatile. At the same time, given that this is a very big university, I charge public relations of being able to make themselves active in terms of the lives of other organizations, in terms of the lives of the university community in events. I think it's just a matter of making ourselves felt. Because you cannot boil the failure of communications to help exchange or ENP come up with numbers to any one thing. There are a lot of things that can be improved upon, but I think that out of all of them, public relations first of all, and a new style of marketing, a marketing that doesn't depend on people's expectations. Again, like guerrilla marketing, no matter what it is, in order to interest people, in order to pique their interest in the field.
Alright, from the audience, is AIESEC UPD a household name in UPIT present? If yes, what is our image? If no, why not? And how will you measure?
I don't think AIESEC UPD is a household name at present. A lot of people still don't know what it is, or at least I don't consider it a household name because even if people know what it is, they don't know what it's about. They usually the first line is AIESEC, yung green sense exchange, and then the second line will usually be, di ba nagpa-party kayo lagi? So, AIESEC may be a household name, not a university name, but a college name, it's particular to certain colleges. And then sometimes it's usually for the wrong reasons. Is this measurable? Yes, it definitely is measurable. Through survey, through our online presence, through our exchange, it's definitely measurable. I don't think it's an online, it's not household name because I can't really attribute that to one thing. I don't know if it's the activities of AIESEC in the past, or if it's just because there's a disconnect, let's say, with the way we market ourselves, with the way that they absorb information. Or maybe we don't present ourselves enough, we don't show ourselves or activities enough. So it's really just a matter of intensifying those things in order to achieve that.
Especially in projects, easy devices, you're dealing with a lot of market, like between 1,000 or 1,000 students per event or per activity. So how do you think Comm help, because that's engagement in the ISEC experience. How do you think Comm contributes to the conversion of UA to actual PNP?
At the same time, it's really just, what do you call this? Can you finish the first one? It's, first of all, documentation. In order to show these people like, okay, you've done this, so now you can go further. This is people who have been in your position have been able to proceed to do this. So engagement in AIESEC, in the same way that communications role in engagement is to pique their interest, we have to be able to pique their interest in order to basically reel them forward further into the AIESEC lifestyle. We can do that by not necessarily full frontal marketing, but by showing people how people have done before, or maybe basically by showing these people that this is what AIESEC has achieved, so that if you're taking your first step, why don't you go further?